Hey everyone, I'm not going to be making much videos in probably about a month or 2 months, probably longer maybe, because I'm just having the word that my dad is passing away, and there's not much of it that I know how to feel, because I've had problems with my dad that is making me feel like most of it's my fault. Because a part of me is saying I may have put him through some trauma or something like that caused him to give up on everything. And around 2 days ago at 4 a.m., my dad was telling my brother that, he's scared, he's panicking, having all that. But I thought it was more than that. So knowing that my brother and my mom thought it would just be panic attacks, there's nothing else wrong with him, just all of that, I decided to go outside. I go outside without telling anyone that I'm going to call 911. And I call them, and whenever they get here, they're basically just looking at my dad, seeing what's wrong with him, and his oxygen's fine, his blood pressure's really low, and he was getting really confused. He was getting really confused, eating toilet paper. He almost drank his pee, which was awful. And we took him to the hospital, and we were there for about 4 hours. It didn't really feel like 4 hours, like, at all. It didn't really feel like it. But we were there for 4 hours, and when we were at the waiting room, after we saw him the first time, it really just hit me. It really just hit me. It just made me feel so guilty for everything. And after we saw him for the first time, and we went to the waiting room, they call after like 30 minutes, an hour, I'm not really too sure, but they call my mom to the hospital and tell her that his heart stopped. And while his heart stopped, they brought him back. And when they brought him back, they found a brain injury, like a loss of oxygen in the brain. And he started having seizures, and they took him on anti-seizure medication, and and they moved him to the bigger room, the ICU, and the next day when we came back to the hospital, or not like, yeah, the next day, I woke up from the sound of knocking on the door, and it turned out it was the CPS, the Child Protective Services. One of the paramedics called Child Protective Services because of all the bottles around my dad and how poor conditioned my house was. And they thought there were younger kids in this house, and if there was, and if I wasn't 17, if I wasn't old enough, I would get taken away. Which is another scary part. The Child Protective Services were telling us to go see Dad, go to the hospital. This was around 3 p.m. We left, went to go see him, and we were there since 10 p.m. Just this last thing I had to tell him was I was sorry for everything. And I loved him. Just to, like, yesterday and the day before, I think I cried it all out. I still feel like I need to cry more, but because of our bad relationship, it's hard. It's really hard. And I thought it was his problem, but it's actually mine, I think. I think it is most likely my fault. Why he's in this condition that he is. People saying, "Oh, it's not your fault." It is. Even then, I wasn't the cause of him drinking. I could have prevented him from keeping the drink on. I could have prevented him. I could have just been nicer to him. And maybe that would have changed. I just wish you would still be alive so I could make it better. Today I wasn't able to go see him because I was asleep. No one woke me. I wanted to see him today. I wanted to see him today. And then whenever my mom called telling me, "You want to go see him before he goes, or you just want to stay here?" Because, she doesn't want me to go. She doesn't want me or my brother to go through that. I wanted to go see him. But My mom and my brother just doesn't want to see me go through it. But what I'm doing to honor him, honor my dad, is 3 things I'm doing. I'm wearing his watch. I'm not going to take it off, even when I'm going to sleep. And second thing I'm doing is I'm going to eat one of his favorite foods that he usually eats a lot. D&I hot dogs. I'm going to eat that. Coleslaw and chili. And then I'm also going to be drinking in the honor of his name. And then on his birthday, or every time on his birthday, January 27th, I'm going to be going to his favorite restaurant, Deal's Family Restaurant. But like I said, there's not going to be much videos getting recorded, because I just need some time to drown in sorrow. Part of me was thinking, oh, maybe I shouldn't say anything. But then I was thinking, most people would like to know. Most people would like to know what's going on. So I'm just gonna at least tell you what's going on. I'm at least going to tell you what's happening. And what happened. Just everything. But I'm gonna go ahead and go. My dad's still in the hospital. And just like yesterday and today, like not yesterday and today, yesterday and, the day before, they were telling us that, giving us options, 2 options. First one being letting him go comfortably, or keep on giving him the medication that he needs, and doing everything that they could possibly do to save his life. I didn't want to let him go. I didn't want to let him go. I wanted him to still live, so I can just make it better. So I can make his life a lot easier than I did. I just really needed that. I really want him to live. But it just sucks. I only have a few good memories. But just thinking of the good memories, it's really sad thing. I remember him making a slide and just a playhouse by hand. And I loved it. I remember whenever my mom and my dad started fighting, and I remember being cuddled up with my dad, and I was so scared. And he was there protecting me. I remember when I was like 5, even when I was like 7, remember when I was like 8, that's when I stopped sleeping with my dad and my mom. I also remember him going to work and me just waiting on the front step. Just waiting for the front step for him to show up. Because I just wanted to see my dad. I remember going on trips with him. We went to this Maryland beach. We went to Maryland, and I remember having this Ferris wheel that we went on top. And my dad was holding me in the Ferris wheel. It was so fun. Even then we had problems. I'm still gonna miss the shit out of him. I even tried to save his life by calling 911, even though when my brother and my mom thought we didn't have to. Because apparently, if I didn't call, he would have died in the next couple hours. So I thought I could save him. I thought I could. I really hoped I did. I really hoped I would. I really hoped. It's getting too long here. I'm gonna go ahead and go. My mom's about to be here, coming back with the D&I hot dogs, and I'm just gonna have to just try to live out the day. But I'm gonna go ahead and go. So see ya.